What is up, my finessers? Mexican Burt Reynolds here, back from vacation in the Mutsuki. Very, very nice ship, Japanese Tier 4 DD, and it gets out here and it makes things happen. Fish are kind of good on this. You wouldn't necessarily suspect that from a Tier 4 Grimiashi, of course, aside. That being said, though, this is really not a bad ship. Not a bad little grind either. Going up the Japanese line, I didn't really not like anything. Every ship was pretty decent. Now, granted, of course, you're not going to come out here and just, completely lay somebody down as far as the firepower aspect goes. It's more of a torp boat, but doing the torp stuff is what it does very, very well. Because let's be honest, most of the time, you're not going to be using your guns and your DDs unless things have went horribly wrong. And the Japanese kind of prevent the horribly wrong bit from happening just simply by having, the concealability tends to be a bit higher or better, as it were, than a lot of the other nations' vessels of the same tier, what have you. Moving on. Really enjoy this ship. Now, granted, we don't have the forward-firing torps of some of the German ships there, the German DDs, but we do have quite an arc here on the side. And a lot of the ships, it seems, have kind of limited arcs. And the Aoba, for example. Now, granted, I know I'm referring to cruisers, but it's still same ballpark. It is Japanese. But, the arcs can also have a lot to do with it as far as positioning and whatnot. Because you can't really end up putting a lot of rounds on target if you're going to be maneuvering and whatnot a lot. But enough about the theory of things. Let's get back to the game. Popping smoke here. Gentleman was putting a few rounds on us. He managed to connect with us a little bit. We're going to try to maneuver around this gentleman. Now, guys, a lot of times what I will do is in a combat situation, I will navigate by the mini-map in the top left-hand corner of the screen there. And if you see just the barely little, very, very light line, you can see it moving. That is where the 12 o'clock position of your ship lies. That is your bearing. And you can kind of adjust that. And a lot of times, you'll see me, especially in the Atlanta, that has the amazing DPM and the gun arc, as I would just continue to fire at people and ride around islands, sail around islands, what have you. And that's kind of how I do that. Some folks have asked me some questions, on where do I know where to turn and how how do I make it happen. That's what I'm doing. I'm cheating. I'm not just knowing where to go. I am using the mini-map up there. We're trying to decide what we want to do here. We're putting some fish out there. We're almost afraid we shorted that one too little or too close to the island because it kind of looks like it's going to beach itself. But you know what? That's fine. We've got more fish here. We're going to throw some there, and then we're going to kind of go up here and creep around the side of the island, see if we could possibly lay some more shots in. Now, island hunting is really the bread and butter of the DDs. It works really good for short-range torpedoes. It works really good for long-range torpedoes. It works good, period. You just have to be very, very careful that you don't overextend yourself because it is very easy for things to happen because, I don't know how many times you go in here and you see these battleships and they make these giant turns and then, all of a sudden you look at your firing solution and they're going 22 plus clicks away. So you kind of have to be cautious because you don't necessarily want to commit yourself to firing at, a ship and then by the time you get out there he's done a 180 and he's gone completely opposite the other direction, and then you've wasted time. You've wasted, you could have been firing fish the entire time. It's a little bit of theory. It's a little bit of, wanting to kind of get your fish in the water as soon as possible, get the reload working, that sort of thing. A little bit of theory is, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. Unless you guys are into that, you let me know in the comments below. but for the most part, you kind of, need to pace your reloads. Now, granted, of course, early in the game like we are, the situation is this. We can't go out there and we can't fire these torps back to back, because if we get in range, if we get out there, we get risky, we're going to get killed. We're going to be detected. We're going to get the hammer laid down on us. So it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, so to speak. We have to be very, very cautious. Our pitiful Japanese guns are just firing once every 20 minutes. We'll throw something at them. Really do enjoy, though, the double guns of the Kogito is very nice. I think the Fubuki has them as well. It's very good. The double guns, plus they sound amazing. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so moving on. We are detected. We are getting the heck out of dodge here. We're going full speed ahead, and we're kind of getting our swerve on a little bit. Gentlemen overshot us by a great deal. We are detected by a plane. Not necessarily a fan of this situation. Holy shnikey. Somebody, our partner, hit the mess out of that fella. Good for him. We're getting out of here. We're not about that action. Now, as far as the game goes, it's not exactly, we're not exactly kicking the crap out of them. We've got one ship on them. So, as far as that goes, we're doing rather fine. You have to be careful, guys, anytime you're shooting fish at somebody and you've got your smoke up, for the simple reason that any good BB captain, any good captain, period, is going to be on their toes if they see smoke. And they're going to know there's going to be fish out there. Or if there's nobody out in a zone, they're detected. Or if you fire fish and they've got a plane up, you kind of have to prepare yourself for that. So, moving on, what we're trying to do here is get him to use his repair kit. So, hopefully by the time our fish hit him, he'll flood. He did, in fact, use his repair kit. And now, we're going to see if maybe we can sneak some of these fish in here. And kablamo. Looks good. The quarterback is toast. Moving on. Now we're kind of ready, and we're looking for some other folks to get some shots on. We're detected. We might as well do some firing at this gentleman right here. What I'm thinking is we kind of have to play this close to the chest. We don't necessarily want to overexpose ourselves, because this is kind of the situation where things can really go south very, very quickly. So we don't necessarily want to go in there and commit, take some damage, take some losses we can't make up, so to speak. We are detected. The gentleman is right around the corner there. The fish aren't necessarily in range. I'm thinking about firing a spread anyway, just in case he does decide to turn and come in towards us. And we're going to get a little bit out there, a couple of them out there, just for the simple fact that we're not sure what he's going to do. And as a DD captain, he is probably not sure what he's going to do either. For the simple fact that us DD captains like to make things as random as possible. The way we look at it is, if I don't know where I'm going to go, then he sure doesn't know where I'm going to go. We're trying to put some on the other side of that island there. It just didn't happen because we kind of had a feeling he wasn't going to go back that way. But either way, it's fine. He's got fish to play with. We're on the opposite side here. We're getting out of here. 3 ships left on the map. And essentially now, this is in-game. This is what is considered in-game. And we're just going to kind of roll around here and try to farm as much damage as possible. And that's exactly what you guys need to do. Now, this is the time where you want the reloads to come in, back to back to back. And, as soon as the torps come in, you send them right down the line. Now, granted, of course, this is in a perfect world. We can't always do this for the simple fact that the enemy is not going to let us do this. He is actively shooting at me right now. Now, also keep in mind that, it can't always be a DD versus a lone battleship. You're going to have to go out there occasionally, and you're going to have to get your hands dirty, kind of like what we're doing right now. We did manage to kill that gentleman, but it could have very, very, very easily went the other way. And that's what we've got to focus on here. And, we don't have quick fix on this captain. I'm not sure there is a Japanese captain with quick fix. So we're kind of screwed here. We are literally dead in the water. We are detected. We are essentially trying to get this ship up and running so we can get the heck out of here and possibly even throw some fish at this gentleman. But that's the thing, you really have to keep your head on a swivel, and you don't want to necessarily commit too much, because when you do, things do have that possibility of going south. So I know it's kind of like a contradiction in terms, but you need to commit without committing too much. Too much of anything is bad. So yes, you need to get out there, you need to make it happen, but you don't need to be crazy with it. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're firing 2 decent spreads, 1 wide spread. Why not? We've got plenty of torps. Last 2 on the map. Wow. Rounds are just zinging in. Once again, we run into a walled island town type situation. It'll be fine, or it won't. We're trying to get out of here. We're doing a 3-point turn, trying to get out of here, folks. It's not really happening. We're taking a little bit of rounds here, but that's fine. We're trying to get out of here. He is still shooting at us. Now, what we would like to do is possibly send some fish back his way for his efforts, if that's possible. But as you can see here, we're still reloading, and this guy's hot on our heels. He feels some type of way about us torping everything under the known sun. And you know what? I don't blame him, because when the shoe is on the other foot, I am not a fan of DDs at all. But going back to what I always continue to say is, guys, you got to go out here and you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to play these battleships, play these cruisers, play the heavy cruisers, play the DDs. You have to get out here. You have to play everything so that you know how everything handles. You know its weaknesses. You know its strengths. You need to know everything you possibly can about every ship, reloads, everything. That way, when you are fighting said ships, it will help you more. In other words, if you're fighting somebody, you know about what the reload is, you know about what their turret traverse is. So, if you do this, if you go in and make them have to cut quick turns, then, you're like, okay, well, I can outrun their guns. Or, if they have abysmal turret speed, all you have to do is come in on the other side. The guns will never catch up. So you have to think about these things, and you have to kind of plan on these things. Now, we did fire those hoping that he may turn around and run right into him. Not necessarily going to happen. I have a good feeling. I have it on good authority. He is not, in fact, going to do that. But you know what? Sometimes, guys, we go out there and we throw torps, and we have a very good idea that they're not going to hit, and then boom, they end up killing somebody. So you never quite know what's going to work out for you and what's not going to work out for you in the torpedo realm, because it's totally random. That's the beauty of it. 48,107 damage, 302,000 silver. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button. Check back Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern for new videos, and Monday through Friday 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern for the live stream done on YouTube as well. Guys, I really hope you enjoy. We'll catch you guys next time.